Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany. This is the Brittany React Show. And on this show we talk all things movies and movie news. We have a lot to go over, specifically with Marvel, because not only do they have a movie coming out next week with Deadpool and Wolverine, but also in about 2 weeks they're going to Comic-Con. So Kevin Feige is already out there talking a lot of news about what they're going to talk about in 2 weeks, but also spoiling some news up front. So we already have a lot to go over as far as Marvel news, and we haven't even gotten to Comic-Con yet. So I imagine after Comic-Con is probably going to be a pretty big stream, because we're going to have a lot to go over if they're already giving up all this info now. But anyway, I do want to say just a moment. It might take a while for more people to find the stream today because I forgot to post the stream well ahead of time, so people aren't going to get the notification that that the stream started. So people are just going to have to find the stream on their own, so it might take longer for more people to join us today. That is entirely on me. But to those, I know you didn't get a notification today, guys. I know that. So that's what I just said. You guys are probably going to see it's a little low on people today, but that's on me. Hi Vincent, hi Think Noodles, hi Francisco, hi DeBoy, hi CD Woods, hi Jose R, hi Natanya, hi Nicholas, hi Jordan. Thank you for just being here, just knowing to be here at this time and not even needing to get notified. Oh, Natanya, you did just get notified? Okay. So maybe some people might get notified. We'll see. Hi CD Woods. Good morning, everyone. But like I said, we do have some good Marvel stuff to talk about today. The first thing I do want to go over is the box office, though. I did see Twisters. We're going to talk about Twisters first of all. Because I did see the movie. I didn't do an out-of-theater reaction. I should probably do that. I'll post it, in fact, on my YouTube channel instead of my Twitter pages where I have been posting my out-of-theater reactions. I think I'm going to post it on my Twitter page. I thought the movie was okay. To be honest, I didn't like this movie nearly as much as I liked the first Twisters movie. I thought it was just okay. To be honest, I didn't even like the main character at times. She kind of frustrated me. Thought she was a little selfish. Thought Glenn Powell was okay. He was alright in the movie. I liked the other dude that's from Hamilton that was in this movie. I liked him too. But overall, the movie was okay. I think I had higher expectations. If you guys don't know, I actually really love disaster films. Disaster films are like some of my favorite genre of films. So I was expecting a lot more like showing of the disasters, of the twisters, and all of that. And I was expecting to get a lot of those herring moments you really get in disaster films where you don't know if people are going to make it, or you see something like a bridge fall apart or something like that. I don't know. That's what I was expecting, because that's what I like from movies like this. And I felt like it was very much missing on that sort of wow factor. It was just kind of, it was okay. I am going to do a deeper dive and a whole live stream covering Twisters. So I will, just make sure that you are subscribed and you're looking out for notifications and stuff, because I'm gonna post when I'm gonna do a whole review just covering Twisters. I'm also gonna do a whole review next week covering Deadpool and Wolverine. So we're gonna do a whole special live stream just covering the movie in spoiler details. So make sure you see the movie before you watch the live stream. It's probably gonna be on a Sunday. So yeah, just make sure that you check out for that. So yes, I see a few more people are coming in now. Oh no, CD Woods, you said you have no interest in the film Twisters. Honestly, you don't need to see it. Oh, Ethereal Dragon didn't like Twisters back in the day, yeah. I actually really liked the movie. In fact, there was a Twisters experience that used to be in Universal Studios that I really liked. I used to do that a lot when I would go there. It's not there anymore, but it was a fun experience. Hi, Robert Bell. Anyway, let's just go straight into the box office now. Alright, so Inside Out 2 is actually doing extremely well. So it just passed 1.4 billion. which is incredible, and it's only 10 million away from being... I'm sorry if you hear stuff going on in the background. I can't control my atmosphere. There's always stuff going on. I apologize about that. The film is 10 million away from being the highest grossing animated film of all time. That means it's already passed Frozen 2, which is surprising to me because Frozen 2 had a lot of hype going into it. And it's going to pass, and also pass the Mario movie, which if you guys remember last year, Mario also was huge. So it's coming in very close to pass, I believe, what is the movie? It's Incredibles 2. I think it has to pass Incredibles 2 to become the highest grossing animated film. But it's going to very, very soon. And I'm very happy for the film. You guys, if you want to know my thoughts on Inside Out 2, I did just do an entire live stream a few days ago. So you guys can go back to that and check out my thoughts on Inside Out 2. But I thought the movie was very, very good, so I'm happy for its success. I'm happy that Pixar seems to be getting back on its feet. I think it deserves it. Are you guys surprised by how well Inside Out 2 is doing? Okay, Francisco, you're not interested in Twisters at all. Vincent, oh yeah, I wanted to beat the live-action Lion King as well. I think that movie did like 1.6 billion, so it still has a little bit to go, but maybe if it keeps holding well, it might be able to beat that. I'd be really happy if it did. You guys know I'm a massive hater of that live-action Lion King movie. No, I don't like it at all. Emotion 2, you agree? Very good movie. Robert Bell says, come on, let's make Inside Out the highest grossing animated film. Oh, it definitely will. It's only 10 million away. Yeah, everyone's saying it's deserved. I'm really happy for the film, truly. But anyway, moving on. So, Twisters. I meant to talk about Twisters and then we started with Inside Out. It's fine. So Twisters actually overperformed and earned $80.5 million in its domestic box office opening weekend, which is one of the highest openings of the year. The only movies that have opened higher are Despicable Me, Dune, and Inside Out. So it's up there with those movies as far as like how well it's doing. So so far it's a hit, even though I thought the movie was just kind of okay. And I think maybe audiences agree because it only has an A- cinema score. So yeah, an A- is good. It's not a bad cinema score, but it does mean like maybe people agree with me that it's not bad, but it's just kind of okay. Like it's not an A+ or even an A. It's just kind of an A-. And I think the reason, I mean, minor spoiler, by the way. If you don't want to know anything about this movie, just I'll raise my hand again when I'm done talking about it, but it's a very minor thing. But at the very end of the movie, the main two characters in the movie don't kiss, and it felt like such a, wait, they were supposed to kiss moment that it kind of made the ending a little bit of a letdown. So I think that, honestly, that movie's probably an A- just because the characters didn't kiss in the end. But that's it. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, A- is not bad, but I think it could have been better. But so far, like I said, it is doing pretty well. It earned the best opening ever for a disaster film domestically, which I didn't realize the bar was that low because I love disaster films. I see all of them. I unironically love Poseidon. I love 2012. I love San Andreas. I love all of those trashy end-of-the-world movies because I just think that they're really entertaining and fun. That's what I was hoping Twisters was going to be more like a San Andreas, but for twisters instead of earthquakes. And it wasn't that. So that's why I was a little let down. Hi, Concert Master. No, you're not too late to the stream. I actually forgot to set up the stream early. If I don't set up the stream at least 30 minutes before I start, it doesn't let notifications out to most people. And I forgot to do that, so that's why there's not a ton of people today. But I'm very appreciative for the people who are here. Oh, I haven't seen Green Lead Motion 2. Maybe I should check that one out. You give the original C-. Oh, you really didn't like that movie, Ethereal. Du Bois says, "Hey, A minus is still better than anything I got in school." Like, it's not a bad score, but I will say that cinema score is it's weighted differently. Like an A minus is very different from an A plus, and an A minus is extremely different from a B minus. So like it varies differently. It's not weighted the same with like a regular test. Francisco says, I'm so happy for it. It's my favorite film of the year so far. Oh, you're talking about Inside Out? Yeah, very, very good. You guys want me to look at the Superman set leaks? I did talk about Superman's suit in the last live stream. I haven't talked about the other costumes. Maybe we'll talk about the costumes. Remind me at the end of the stream. But anyway, moving on. So, okay, that was the end of it. Let's go to entertainment news. So, Deadpool and Wolverine actually just dropped two recent trailers recently. One that was on the 16th, and then one that was on the 19th. And the reason I bring that up is because for them to drop two trailers so close together like that, only about less than 2 weeks from the movie actually releasing, tells me that they're trying to juice up the box office a bit. Like maybe they're thinking the tracking is slightly softer than they wanted, and that's why they're dropping so many trailers. Because it is unusual. In fact, it's been so many trailers that I don't even see people talking about these last two trailers, especially this last one. Like, I know you shouldn't think like Twitter likes your everything, but like this one only has like 14K views. Like, I think people are done with trailers and people don't want to see anything more from this movie. They're either already sold or they're not. I do think they're going overboard with the trailers. And I'm very curious to see how this movie does at the box office. They are predicting this movie should open between 160 to 165 million, which is really good, but I feel like so many people and so many fans have their expectations like high in the sky, that there's a lot of people who are expecting this movie to open to like over 200 million or something like that. And I don't see that happening. I think 160 to 165 would be actually great for this film if it actually hits that. So I that's about where I'm expecting it to open, to be honest. I think this is a fair opening. I just don't feel the same level of enthusiasm for this film as I felt for even Multiverse of Madness for some reason. I just don't. I just think that superhero films have been hit that hard. But what do you guys think? What do you predict this film would do? Have you looked at the recent trailers? What did you think of them? Oh, hi, Mauricio. Thank you. Okay, Motion 2, you like the new trailer? That's great. Yeah, they did. I think they're revealing too much. I think maybe that's why people aren't talking about these trailers as much. I think they're giving too much away, and that's what's making me think that maybe they're starting to get a little bit desperate, possibly. Because why are they releasing? I don't even want to say what the cameo was, just in case you haven't watched the trailer, because they shouldn't have revealed it. Maybe they're thinking like they have to start revealing stuff to get people to want to buy a ticket. Maybe that's why they did it. I don't know, but I do feel like they're starting to show too much at this point. Wait, Danny wants Deadpool to flop? Why do you want Deadpool to flop, Danny? No, it does not have a low budget. Not at all. Russo says Taylor Swift is most likely in it. Is she in it, or is it going to be Blake Lively? Because there is a Lady Deadpool, and they've teased her, but I think it kind of looks more like Blake Lively than Taylor Swift, but we'll see. Ashley says, I think it'll make 800 million total at the box office and no more than that. 800 million I think is a good number. I think it'll make 800 million if it's received well. Like if people really like it and it's like universally well liked, like not the last Deadpool, but like maybe I'd say as well liked as Guardians 3 was. If it's that universally well liked, then I can see it making 800 million. But honestly, I don't think that's a given. I think if this movie is not well received, if people feel like this movie doesn't deliver on the hype that they feel like this movie is promising, I feel like this movie could honestly, it might not see 800. I could see it maybe not even meeting 700. I think it really does depend on how well received this movie is, to be honest. Some people call this the real Multiverse of Madness. I hope it is. Multiverse of Madness did not even deliver on its name. We only went to a few multiverses, and we barely visited them. Yeah, Yellow Umbrella, I agree. It's definitely Blake Lively. I don't think it was Taylor Swift. The Voice says, I said this about Guardians, but I feel like lots of people still view Deadpool as separate from the MCU, so maybe that could work in its favor. I definitely think people separate the two, for sure. I agree with you there. So that will help it open to at least 165. I can't see any other Marvel movie even opening to 160 on the horizon other than Deadpool, and it's because Deadpool is different and separate from all the other stuff. I just don't know if like the bar is higher than that. Like, can they go higher than that? I really don't know. We'll see. We'll see. You can't get over the wig they put on him. Is it distracting? Okay, Mauricio, you said Deadpool will be top 3 with Wicked. I'm super curious to see how Wicked performs as well. I'm really, really curious to see how Wicked performs. I hope it does well, but I kind of feel like the trailers haven't done a good job explaining what the movie is or what's happening if you don't know the story already. I feel like they're kind of advertising to people who are already familiar with Wicked, and I feel like they need to be advertising for people who aren't, so they can get new fans, and that I'm a little worried about with the movie. Yeah, Evil Connor, I agree. I think Twisters could have been a lot better. I had very high expectations, to be honest. Very, very high expectations. I was expecting more disaster film, and what I got was more of a weepy drama, sometimes rom-com, kind of mid-milquetoast movie. That's how I would describe it. Anyway, moving on. Sorry to anyone who may have liked Twisters. I just didn't care for it. So also, the Russo brothers are in talks to return to direct the next Avengers films. I think that is really good, actually. I think that is probably the best. They're the best directors they possibly could have gotten for the job, just because I think it's very hard to make Avengers movies, and the fact that they nailed it with both Infinity War and Endgame. Yes, I like Endgame more than Infinity War. I know people turned on Endgame for some reason, but I still like that movie. But anyway, I really think that they're the only ones that could make sense of the messed up timeline that Marvel has themselves in. Because I remember back when Endgame came out, and I was like super, super obsessed with Marvel and everything, and I was watching all these interviews from the Russo brothers talking about their process, and not just the Russo brothers, but also McFly. Was it his name McFly or McFeely or something like that? The writer of Endgame. I was like watching the interviews from all of them, and I remember very clearly them talking about their process and how they were thinking about where all the characters were and their respective journeys throughout the MCU, and how they could like organically connect them together to make them make sense in the movie. And I realized that the reason why the Russo brothers were really good at their job doing Marvel movies was because they really understood the characters and they actually cared about Marvel. They actually were like nerdy about this stuff. So like they knew how to connect the dots, and like they knew which characters to connect that would make sense in the way that would make fans excited. And I think that they need someone like that again. They need someone who can look at the mess that Marvel has created over phase 4 and phase 5 and be like, how in the world do I organically and reasonably connect all these characters together? How do I do that? I think they're the only ones that could, because they're the only ones who could do that for Endgame, and Endgame was a lot of characters and they made it work. I don't think any other director could have done it, so I think this is a big win. But what do you guys think? Do you think that there were other directors that could have done this? And if so, who would you have wanted to direct these Avengers movies? Yeah, I agree, Yellow Umbrella. I feel like everyone agreed right after Endgame came out that it was a great movie, and then suddenly people turned on it. I think it's very weird. Francisco says, honestly, I don't know. Should I watch Deadpool and Wolverine? Because there's so much homework I have to do for that movie. I don't know. I don't have energy all time for that. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm worried about. I mean, they're saying you don't have to do any homework to watch this movie, but I don't know. I feel like that can't be true, because you already have to know, like, all the Deadpool movies, but you gotta know enough about the Fox X-Men movies to understand who Wolverine is. You probably have to have at least seen the Wolverine movie, and then you have to probably have seen Loki to know what the TVA are. So I feel like there is a bit of homework to do. They're gonna say, no, you don't need to, but it's not like all you need to watch is the first 2 Deadpool movies. There's way more than that. Ellie says, Infinity War was great and Endgame as well, being that I'm someone who isn't really into superhero ensemble movies. Yeah, both movies are really good. I really like both movies. Vincent Hull says, we really need a break in the franchise of superhero movies. Well, I feel like Marvel's taking a bit of a break. This is their only movie they're releasing this year. And DC isn't releasing a lot of movies either, or really any movies. So this is sort of a break right now. Do you feel like this break is enough, or do you think it should be more or go on longer? Oh yeah, speaking of Kang, because someone in the Downey did bring it up. Let's talk about Kang. So apparently Avengers 5 is expected to get a new title and a new focus instead of Kang. So Avengers 5 will not be about Kang. It's not going to be the Kang Dynasty anymore. Instead, it's probably going to focus on Doom, since there are also rumors that they want Dune back. And not just anyone playing Doom, but freaking Robert Downey Jr., which I think is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I think the only thing dumber than this would be if they did a Avengers versus Justice League film. You guys know I hate that idea. That's the only thing that's dumber than this, is Robert Downey Jr. not coming back as Iron Man or Tony Stark, but as freaking Dr. Doom. That is the most we have given up, we don't know what else to do, hit the panic button kind of response they could possibly do, other than a Avengers versus Justice League team up. Like, this is the next worst thing in my mind. I hate this. I hope it's just a rumor. I really don't want them to do this at all. So they are thinking of new villains, because obviously they can't go with Kang anymore because of what happened with old dude who seems to have time traveled from the 60s. Every time I see him, he's just like... there was some videos of him at a wedding recently, and he was dancing like he was from the 60s or something. It was funny. Anyway, that's the whole sidebar. The whole side tangent. And he dresses like that too. Like, he dresses like a paper boy, and then he acts like he's from the 60s. It's really funny. He's really funny to me. But anyway, you know who I'm talking about. Please tell Jonathan Majors. Yes, that's who I'm talking about. The Blue Gecko Nerd says Jonathan Majors has been out, so I don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah. Does anyone think this is a good idea? Like, anyone at all think this is a good idea? Yeah, I don't think anyone agrees with this. Everyone in my chat is like, heck no. Yes, as in Iron Man or Robert Downey Jr. The same. Yes, Daddy, the same. CD Wood says Doom is Romani. That's a big part of his character. I bet they were to cast someone better, they better be Romani. Isn't Wanda supposed to be Romani? And she's very much not. I don't think they're gonna care about that. Well, okay. Yeah, they're not gonna care about that. I highly doubt it. Yeah, I think Mythical Phoenix Heart says not a good idea. Find someone else. Yeah, Mawkin says this feels like weird fan fiction. Exactly. This doesn't even feel like a professional thought this up. This feels like some kid in high school who still writes fan fiction was like, well, you know what would be really cool? If Tony Stark came back as Dr. Doom. Like, that's what this sounds like to me. Like, no. Wait, Blue Gecko Nerd, do you want this to happen or what? No. I totally disagree. But anyway, so we know that Sean Levy, who was the director of Deadpool and Wolverine, was at one point attached to direct this movie, but he decided not to focus directing Avengers 5 so that he could focus on directing his Star Wars film. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because if you've been watching The Acolyte, if you've really been watching any of the Disney Plus Star Wars shows, you know. These movies are a mess. They are ridiculous. They are... And the shows make CW look like HBO. The fact that his choices... And he's supposedly a talented director. I liked Free Guy. I liked his episodes of Stranger Things. He is a good director. And I haven't seen Deadpool versus Wolverine, so we'll see how I feel about that. But can we get him like a better choices than Avengers 5, which is a setup for anyone that's not the Russo brothers, because that's just a Herculean task for a random director to take over and deal with, versus a Star Wars movie, which is like Star Wars is a sinking ship, and like they keep losing fans by every show that they release, and like you really want to join that toxic soup, especially since the first Star Wars movies that are going to be coming out are going to be the freaking Mandalorian and Grogu. Let me say that again. They're making a movie called The Mandalorian and Grogu. And they're expecting that to be $1 billion hit. And then they're also releasing a movie that is a sequel to the very controversial sequel trilogy starring Rey. They're making another Rey movie. And this is what Sean Levy wants to follow up those two films? This is the best they could offer him? Can we not get this man to make his own original film? Maybe he could be the next, like, Robert Zemeckis. You know? Just let him make original movies. Can't we do that? Why do we have to give him nothing but franchise trash? This just makes me sad. This is just like the state of things in modern Hollywood, that all he's given, all his options is, do you want this fading franchise or this really faded franchise? Like, can we give him, like, money to make an original film since it's proven he knows how to direct? Like, that's what I would do if I were Disney. I don't know. What would you guys do? Do you like this idea? Are you still looking forward to a Sean Levy Star Wars film? Mauricio says Star Wars needs Lashana Lynch. That would be cool. But would they do her right? I feel like they wouldn't do her right. They'd probably just, like, write her really poorly. Nicholas Wilson says, we all thought Lucas ruined Star Wars. Then Disney said, hold my beer. Right? Yellow Umbrella says, Sean Levy is going to be the next Walt Disney Frozen head. Are they just going to, like, keep draining this man dry until he has no talent left? I mean, that's what they're doing to Dave Favreau. Dude was very, very talented. Made so many great movies. He made Elf. Dude made Elf. He made The Mandalorian for them. He made Iron Man. He freaking kickstarted the MCU. And look at what they did to that man. He made The Mandalorian Season 3. Look at what they did to him. That's what they're going to do to Sean Levy. They're going to take all the life and creativity out of him, and they're going to make him produce something like The Mandalorian Season 3. I don't want to see that happen to him. I don't want to see what they did to Dave Favreau to Sean Levy. Because I feel like that's what he's very much in danger of becoming to them. But we'll see. Arvin Rufy says, we need another South Park diss episode. South Park could do an entire season just dedicated to Disney. An entire season, let alone an episode. A whole season. Right, Yellow Umbrella? Sean needs to save himself. He really needs to save himself. Joel Pedro says, I wonder if the next generations are going to avoid the original movies because of the new ones. What do you mean Or do you mean the next generation of kids, are they gonna not watch the original movies? Well, I hope not. I gotta be honest with you. I have no faith in, like, are parents actually going to show the kids the older movies? I don't think so. It's going to be up to the kids to have to want to watch them, and I don't think Disney's giving them any real incentive because the live action versions are so bad. But yeah, I think that's part of what Disney has a problem with right now. I think that they're not getting the younger generation to care about Disney as much as, like, my generation did when we were growing up. Like, I forgot where I saw this, but I'm pretty sure it's true that Mario is now a more famous fictional character than Mickey Mouse worldwide. Like, more kids recognize Mario now than recognize Mickey Mouse. And that is not good. That shows you how much, like, this new generation just does not F with Disney in the same way that, like, my generation did. But anyway, I'm pretty sure that's true. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, think about how well the Mario movie did. And then think about how well a Mickey movie would do. I don't think a Mickey Mouse movie would do nearly as well as the Mario movie. I mean, just being honest. Rip Daisy Ridley. She's not dead. Her career might be dead, but she is not dead. Du Bois says, we keep saying that the MCU needs a break, but I think Star Wars needs it way more than the MCU. Oh, yes! They are beating that horse to death. Star Wars needs a very long break, especially from making TV shows. They can't keep making more Acolytes. They can't do it. Honestly, I know this is controversial for some, but I really think that they need to, like, take a long, long break. Someone else needs to buy it because Disney has tainted their image of Star Wars too much. And then whoever buys it needs to, like, do a reboot of Star Wars. And, like, do a remake of A New Hope but with new actors and just start over. With no baggage. And then what they can do from there is they could have a new beginning. So, like, maybe they start over with A New Hope, but, like, they don't have to do The Empire Strikes Back. Maybe they can start over with something else that's, like, maybe from there they can create their own new story. I don't know. But I think they need to, like, start over with new actors, and it needs to be, like, with Han, Luke, and Leia. Maybe they can have new Avengers, but it has to be those characters. Star Wars needs to shut down. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what I'm saying. Mickey Mouse horror movie will traumatize them. No one wants to see that. I really don't think people want to see the perverted versions of innocent things. I think that's why, like, those horror movie Winnie the Pooh films don't do well. That's why I don't think anyone really cared about this Steamboat Willie stuff that was going to be, like, horror movies and stuff. I think people just want to keep, like, certain childhood things innocent. I don't think it's gonna work. You guys are very adamant on Star Wars needs to die. I respect that. Du Bois says, see, here's why I don't think remaking New Hope would work. When the first came out, the special effects were insane for that time. If they remake it, they just CGI it. It lose that innovation. Maybe Star Wars was just a franchise of its time. Because you're right. I think, I obviously wasn't around for that time, but I think what made the original Star Wars film so popular when it came out was that it was so technologically innovative. It was so new. Like, no one had ever seen a sci-fi film depicted like that before on film. So I think it would have to be something like an Avatar, where Avatar was depicting something new and something innovative technologically. But I don't think that there's anything that Star Wars could do that's groundbreaking. I don't know. I feel like we've seen everything at this point. At this point, we've seen so much from CGI. People want less CGI. I think what would impress people more would be if they tried to make, like, a new Star Wars film with everything practical. Like, they didn't use CGI at all. I think that would probably impress people more nowadays, just because we've seen so much with CGI. But But anyway, moving on from this. We've talked about Star Wars too much. I don't know how we got on a Star Wars tangent. So like I said, Comic-Con is coming up soon, and because of that, Kevin Feige is already talking a lot about Marvel, getting people excited, talking about what people should look forward to at Comic-Con. And apparently they have adjusted their entire film schedule around to be around what we would have ready to show at Comic-Con, to announce and set the expectations and the tonality of what's to come over the next couple of years. I think that's pretty crazy that Marvel is now basing their entire film schedule around Comic-Con and what they have to release. But I think that makes sense because Comic-Con, I mean, that's a really good promotional tool. I mean, they're using it to promote Deadpool. So that's really funny. That shows that Comic-Con is not going to die anytime soon. As long as Marvel keeps going to Comic-Con, I don't think Comic-Con is going to die anytime soon, especially if they're literally arranging their entire film schedule around this place. So, yeah, if people were saying Comic-Con was dying, it's not dying. It's not going anywhere. So that's good for nerds everywhere. If you care about Comic-Con, this is good for you. Also, he says that every Marvel movie after Deadpool and Wolverine will be in the mutant era. So I think that means that Deadpool and Wolverine, however it ends, will probably set up that now going forward, everything in the Marvel Universe will be about mutants. I don't know if that means we'll be stuck in some universe where mutants are now common, or maybe we'll just meet the X-Men in this and they become common in Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't know how that's going to work. But I do think that's interesting that they're like immediately saying right after Deadpool and Wolverine, we're in the mutant era. So that means Captain America would have to be in the mutant era too. Are there going to be any mutants in that? That would mean Thunderbolts would be in the mutant era. Is there going to be any mutants in that? So I don't know. I feel like he's just saying that for marketing reasons. I have to see that being true to actually believe that. But we'll see. Honestly, I think this is probably just marketing. He just wants people to think mutants, so people think X-Men, so people are still interested in their films after Deadpool. But we'll see if this actually becomes true. Are you guys looking forward to X-Men? Are you looking forward to mutants? Oh, Cheetah Viper, why do you think they're going to destroy all the X-Men? Honestly, I really want them to focus on a new cast of X-Men. As much as I love the Fox X-Men, and I really do, I'm ready for a new cast. I think we need a new cast. I want a new Professor X. I want a new Xavier. I'm ready for a new cast. The CD Woods says, the mutant era. I love the mutants, and I hope mutants are in the mainline universe. I hope so too, but I hope if it's focused, that should mean that mutants should be in both Thunderbolts and Captain America. If this is now the mutants era, post-Deadpool, then mutants should be in those movies, but I don't think they're going to be, and that's still going to make it seem like a very disjointed universe, if that's true. Yeah, Kevin said F the multiverse saga for sure. He's basically saying this is going to be the last multiverse movie, at least for a while. Because Secret Wars is obviously going to be a multiverse movie, but anyway, moving on. So there's also going to be a Nova series that's going to focus on Richard Rider, and it's officially in the works. But it's not going to be released for another 3 to 4 years. So I have several thoughts about this. First of all, why are they doing this? I don't think they should be making series about characters that are not already household names when they have so many characters that are a lot more popular and well known that are not getting their attention and chance to shine. Nova, as someone who does not read the comics, I don't know who Nova is and I don't care. I want Wanda. I want more about the actual mutants and the X-Men. I want to know more about what happened to Hulk, what happened to Thor, what happened to the characters I already know, what happened to the characters I already know I like, what happened to the Guardians. Like, why are we still introducing new characters? And on top of that, why are you announcing something that's not coming out for another 3 to 4 years? 4 years, that's 2028. And you're announcing something that is supposed to be coming out now? That makes no sense. All the hype and interest is gonna die out by then. I don't think we should be making a show about Nova. I think we should be making shows about more relevant A-tier characters if you're gonna make shows at all. And if you can't make the shows good, stop making the shows. Just stick to the movies. I think this is a bad idea. I think it's a very bad idea. But are you guys excited? For those who read the comics, for those who may know these characters more than I do, does this excite you? Du Bois says Thanos voice. I don't even know who Nova is. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. This is like when they made a show for Echo. And I'm sure this character is more cool than Echo. But like I know as much about this character as I knew about Echo. So as I would say as a die-hard Marvel Studios fan, but only like a novice to casual fan of like actual comic book lore and characters, for me, this does nothing. Does absolutely nothing. Angel Pereira says the MCU might not even be around in 3 to 4 years. Exactly! Why are you telling us about this now? It's madness. Absolute madness. Anyone in the chat know anything about Nova that you care to share with us that tells us why we should care about this character 4 years in advance? CD Wood says a Nova project is like a decade late. No one cares. Okay, so was this character popular like a decade ago? Concert Master says, I don't know what to feel about their decisions anymore. Yeah, it just sounds like they don't really know what they're doing. It used to seem like they at least had a plan, and now not anymore. Will Friend says, seriously, are the writers secretly just paid fan fiction writers? Maybe. I mean, at this point, it just does feel like fan fiction. Ellie says, yeah, I don't think I care that much about this. Yeah, I don't think it's going to do very well, but we'll see. Maybe there's enough comic book fans out there that are like, yeah, what are you talking about, Brittany? Nova is, like, so important. He's, like, he could have been Spider-Man. I don't know. There's always that excuse or something. But I'm talking as a casual, just observer of the comics and more interested in the movies. This is like, why are we focusing on characters like this when we have so many characters that we already have introduced that we could be focusing on more? That's what I'm thinking. But anyway, moving on. So Kevin says that we will also find out who bought the Avengers Tower. We still don't know. This is one of the many mysteries about what's going on. Hi, Prancer. If you guys want to see my dog. Hi, Prancer. Up. Up. No. Okay. He doesn't want to get up. Never mind. Sorry. But he's right near me. But anyway. Avengers. We're going to find out who bought the Avengers Tower. One of the many mysteries that we just never found out about. Do you guys care about this at all? I feel like I am glad that they're starting to tie up loose threads. They have a lot of loose threads, especially from their end credit scenes. So this is just one of the threads that they're trying to tie up. Are you guys excited about this? Do you care about this? Who do you think bought the Avengers Tower? Content Master says the Nova is tied to the Nova Corps and Guardians, but too late. Oh, Nova's tied to the Nova Corps. That makes sense. So this could be like Guardians adjacent? Well, then just make this like a Guardians series. Just market it that way. I'm immediately more interested if you said it's related to Guardians. Immediately. Yeah, you can hear his little feet tapping. Rob says, who cares about the Avengers Tower? I mean, people were asking about it, so that's why I'm bringing it up. Oh, you bought Avengers Tower motion 2? Alright, well, when are we having the welcoming party? But anyway, moving on. So John Watts is likely not going to return to direct Spider-Man 4. He's got lots of things coming out now, says Kevin Feige, so we'll probably be looking for someone else just because he's busy. Here's why I don't know if I entirely believe this. John Watts okay, so there's been like a sort of feud going on between Sony and Marvel over what they want to do with this next Spider-Man movie. Um, Kevin really didn't want to have John Watts around. He wanted to have a new director, while Sony did wanted to keep him. It looks like Kevin won that argument. I actually think Kevin is right to want to get a new director, even though the last Spider-Man movie was super successful. And I loved it. I really liked the last Spider-Man movie. As someone who's always been a Spider-Man fan, I was a Spider-Man fan before I was a Marvel fan. That just made my Spider-Man fan heart like just explode. I loved that movie. Even I can acknowledge it could have been better. And I honestly thought that about all of the Spider-Man movies that he directed. And I feel like we can get a much better, more dynamic director than John Watts to direct a Spider-Man movie. Even though I did not like The Amazing Spider-Man 2 at all, I honestly thought Mark Webb was at least more inventive with his directing than John Watts ever was. So I agree with Kevin that they can still get a better director, even though the last Spider-Man movie did so well. So I'm hoping that they get someone better. I'm hoping that they get someone like, I don't know. I would just die if they got someone like Greta Gerwig to do it, but I know she's busy with, you can hear him again. I know she's busy right now with, what's it called? Narnia. But I want someone who has that specific of an auteur vision to do Spider-Man. Someone who can breathe some creativity into it. That's what Spider-Man needs. Wait, you hate Spider-Man motion? No! Spider-Man's everything. Rob said, Watts did a good job, but I agree it's time for a new director. Yeah, we just need some new energy. I think even having a new director, even if he did an amazing job, we would still need a new director just for a new flavor. CD Wood says, TASM 2 may have had bad writing, but it was a stunning film. Yes, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 visually looked great. I just think the story was terrible. I did not care at all for that weird, like, the romance storyline was so cheesy, and then I didn't like Dane DeHaan. I didn't like Dane DeHaan as what's his face, as Harry. I did not like his version of that character. So none of it worked for me. But visually, it looked good. We need someone who can make the movie look visually as cool as at least those movies. Oh, Dee, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. I am over them mentioning movies that aren't coming out for 3 to 4 years. Sorry this late, my super chat is acting weird. That's okay. Thank you so much for the super chat. And yes, it is annoying. I really wish that they would stop announcing stuff that's not coming out for several years. I think that's a mistake. It just kills all the hype, because why should you care about something that's not coming out for several years? Like, imagine you're like a freshman in high school and you hear this and you're like, wow, I'm going to be a senior graduating, about to go to college before this thing comes out. That's how long that is. That's unacceptable in my opinion. I think that's way too long. Thank you again for the super chat. Anyway, moving on. So, speaking of Marvel, we have another look at Agatha All Along. You guys know I am actually looking forward to this show, but I will have to say, this look here, this is the first thing that I've seen where I'm like, oh, should I be excited for this show? Should I be? This is giving very CW. This is giving very low budget. I'm a little nervous now. Also niche. It's giving very niche too. Like, who is the audience for this? I guess I'm the audience for this. But like, I don't know, other than people who just really love WandaVision and want to see anything continue from WandaVision, which is the camp that I fall into. Who is going to be interested in this? Does this excite you, this photo? Vincent says you think it's going to be bad. Aaron says the costuming doesn't look good. Yeah. I'm still excited for the show. I'm still gonna watch it. But the costuming, the casting, the lighting even, all of it. Who is the audience? You can't, like, how, it's times like this when I look at these photos and I'm like, how did we go from Iron Man to a movie that was just like Robert Downey Jr. hammering away in a cave to this? Like, what happened? Like, I know what happened. I was there, but it's a crazy ride that we somehow landed on this. And I'm still excited for it. I'm still looking forward to it. But even I'm like, oh no. What is this? Am I making too much out of this? Are you guys like, what are you talking about? This looks amazing. I mean, is it just me? Is it just me? Hope it's not another Riverdale. Yeah, I hope not too. Aaron says, I'm excited for this show. I'm just anticipating it's going to be bad. Well, hopefully it's like a campy fun bad where we can still have a lot of fun with the show. I hope it's not boring bad. I really hope it's not. Okay, Will, you're looking forward to it. Okay. Angie says, I'm really excited because I will watch anything with witches. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it does have witches. CD Wood says, I'm still going to give it a chance, but yikes, this image. Right? Peak cinematography. I know that even the cinematography is weird. Like, the coloring is just strange. Yeah, I don't know. Astronomy is cautiously optimistic. Yeah, I don't know. But we'll see. I'm still looking forward to it. Here's to hoping. It also just looks like, sorry, I'm just thinking about the costumes. Even the costumes look extremely dated. Like, I don't know. We're moving on, but it's just the costumes are extremely weird to me. So moving on to some more Disney moves. Oh, we have breaking political news. This is not a political channel, but I feel like this might be worth mentioning. I'm seeing stuff trend. Wait, what's going on? Oh! Biden just dropped out. Man, politics. Remember when politics were boring? Can we go back to those days? Interesting. Well, so that's breaking news in the middle of my live stream. That's neither here nor there. Not going to talk about who's going to replace, but that's interesting. Just saw some stuff was trending and I had to see for myself. But anyway, yeah, cool. Moving on. Disney. So Disney was reportedly hacked. The hackers were reportedly activists. They were a hacktivist group protecting artists' rights and ensuring fair compensation for their work. Leaked information including internal communications from Disney, images, logins, studio info, and ad campaigns. So this is so funny to me because, like, how is Disney hated but equally by both the right and the left? Like, the right hates Disney because they think they're too liberal. And the left hates Disney because they think they're not liberal enough. They literally have found themselves in between a rock and a hard place. Ellie, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, if this is how you found out, I'm sorry. Here's your news. I hope that was easier coming from me than someone else. Anyway. So Disney, I don't know how they can get themselves out of this mess. How are they this hated by the left that they're getting activists to literally hack them and they've got people from the right boycotting their movies. Like, how do they get out of this mess? I really think that they're not going to be able to move forward as a company and grow again without at least getting unburdened by what has been. I just have a lot on my mind at the moment. They're all just crossing over now. Yeah, they have to fix their political issues, is what I'm saying. They're too politicized. Both the left hate them and the right hate them. And Disney's never gonna grow again or become popular again unless they fix this issue. But anyway, moving on. So the Pixar will also announce that they will have a new original film that they're going to be announcing next month at D23. And it's going to be released in 2026. So I'm glad that we're still getting original movies. I'm glad that it's not just going to be all sequels from here on out just because Inside Out 2 was successful. I'm glad that we're still going to get some original films. I mean, if you don't, you can't just keep making sequels forever because eventually you're going to run out of stuff to make sequels too. So you need to make original franchises so you can still keep making sequels. So I'm glad that they're doing something original, and I can't wait to hear what it is next month. Moving on. I see I have distracted the chat as well. When you have breaking news that's that huge, you can't just not share. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to distract the chat. Anyway, moving on. So, they're also making a Jungle Cruise 2, which is very, very interesting. I loved the first Jungle Cruise. I think I liked the first Jungle Cruise more than most people. I actually saw it more than once in theaters. That's how much I liked this movie. I don't know what it was about this. Maybe I just really like adventure films, but it really spoke to me. I literally saw this movie like a good 2 times in theaters and then another time at home. And I don't watch movies like more than once unless I really like them. So I really liked it. So I'm glad that it's getting a sequel. I didn't think it was going to because it was one of those pandemic movies. It premiered day and date on Disney Plus. So I didn't think it was going to get a sequel. So I'm really glad that it is. Did anyone else like Jungle Cruise? Did you like the movie? Cheetah Viper, you haven't seen the first one. I would say it's worth watching. I think it's actually a pretty good film. CD Woods says, I haven't even seen the first film. You guys have got to see the first one.
I found this on the web for what says I haven't even seen the first film. Check it out.
I need Siri to absolutely stop butting in on our conversations. Does anyone know how to get Siri to stop doing that? I'm not saying Siri. So why does it keep doing that? But anyway, if you guys haven't seen the first Jungle Cruise, go see it so that Jungle Cruise 2 is a big hit because I really like these movies actually. Du Bois says, haven't seen the first, but I'd be willing to give it a try. It seems up my alley. If you like adventure films, I would say this movie, I would describe it as like a campier Pirates of the Caribbean. But in the jungle instead of like on the ocean. That's how I would describe it. I don't know if that sounds enticing to you, but it's really interesting. I liked it. Rob Chuck says, say Siri, stop butting in. Okay, I'm gonna try that. Rob, what is she gonna say? Hey Siri, stop butting in.
There's nothing to stop here.
Siri says there's nothing to stop, so she doesn't have anything to stop doing. Anyway, I guess me and Siri are not getting along right now, but that's neither here nor there. Danny says this was a little better than the new Indiana Jones. I thought this was a lot better than the Indiana Jones. I thought Indiana Jones was boring AF, but I thought this was fun. I liked it a lot. Jordan Davis says, Disney said we'll stop talking bad about us. Maybe it's Disney trying to like take over my live stream. I don't know. Maybe they're watching. I don't know. But Siri was very defiant, yeah. Jal Pedro says you feel threatened now. I guess she just threatened me. I don't know. She just threatened me live on camera. At least you guys saw that. You guys know my Siri is kind of mean to me. But anyway, moving on. So we also got a Beetlejuice trailer. It very much focuses on Jenna Ortega. Like, they know Jenna Ortega is the big draw here. She opens the trailer. She's a huge part of the focus of the trailer. I honestly think she's going to be a big part of what gets the younger generation to actually care about this film. So they're probably right to focus on her so much. Other than that, it looks a lot like the older Beetlejuice films. I think it looks... Honestly, I wasn't wowed by the trailer. I have a feeling that this movie is just going to be kind of okay. Maybe I'll be surprised and it's like really, really good. But I have a feeling it's just going to be kind of mid. I know I use that word a lot, but we're still in the middle of a mid-apocalypse. I have a feeling this is going to be kind of mid. But who knows? Who knows? This just looks like a nostalgia trip for nostalgia trip's sake. If this movie's amazing, I'll be shocked. But are you guys excited for this Beetlejuice movie? Do you think it'll be a hit? What do you guys think about it? Angel says, does Jenna Ortega playing Beetlejuice? No, she's not playing Beetlejuice. She's playing Lydia's character. I think that's her name. She's playing Lydia's daughter character. I think her name's Lydia. She's playing the daughter of the girl from the last movie, the original movies. Never seen the original Beetlejuice. I think it's good. I think it still holds up. It's very campy. It's very fun. It's kind of like the Addams Family. If you like the Addams Family, you'll like Beetlejuice. Anise Alchemist says, I'm very much looking forward to Beetlejuice 2. Looks like a return to form from Burton. Is it going to be a return to form? I don't know. This looks like by the numbers even for what's his face? Sorry, I got distracted. I don't know if this is going to be a return to form for him. I honestly, I think this trailer kind of made it look not that good to me, but we'll see. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It's been too long since the original. It might be, but with Jenna Ortega in it, I think she's going to give it enough interest, enough cross-generational appeal that it might actually be a hit. So we'll see. Aaron says, I'm excited for it. The original movie has a special place in my heart. I also remember watching the cartoon as well. Yeah, I mean, people really like these movies. That's why I really think Beetlejuice 2 could be a hit. I don't know why I keep thinking there's multiple Beetlejuice movies. I just meant the original Beetlejuice movie. People really like the original Beetlejuice movie. I really think this movie could be a hit. So we'll see. My 2 cents for y'all. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. I can't wait for I Am Legend. Have you heard anything? No, I haven't heard anything. I do know that Will Smith wants to make that movie. And now that Bad Boys is a hit, he probably is going to make that movie. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how they're going to continue it, but I'm curious to see how they finish that story. Thank you for the super chat. I know, I miss old Tim Burton movies, Latanya. Tim Burton used to be my favorite director. I used to watch anything just because it was Tim Burton. I used to be obsessed with Sweeney Todd. Sweeney Todd is still in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Love Sweeney Todd. I still watch that movie every now and then. I love that movie. But yeah, he hasn't made a movie as good as Sweeney Todd since Sweeney Todd. He just really went downhill after that. That's really sad to see. Oh, boy, you like the Tim Burton version of the Charlie and Chocolate Factory better than the Gene Wilder one? I like both. I don't hate either. I think both are good. I don't know if it's just my nostalgia goggles or whatever, but I really like both those movies. I like both those movies more than I like the Timothée Chalamet Wonka movie. As you guys know, I did not care for that one. He was too nice. The whole reason why I like the Willy Wonka story is because he's a very interesting character that's complex and not a nice guy. That's the whole, interest and intrigue around his character. And then the Timothy Chalamet Wonka movie, they just turned him into like this goody like nice guy that just wants to make everybody happy and give everyone sweets and chocolates, and it's just like, who is this character? I did not care for it. I did not care for it, but I do like the other original two Wonka movies better, for sure. Moving on, because I know some people really like the Wonka movie with Timothy Chalamet, but that is just not my Wonka. Not my Wonka. Hashtag not my Wonka. But anyway, moving on. He was too nice. Just too nice. Okay, so a new trailer for Dune Prophecy. We have a new trailer for this. If you don't know what Dune Prophecy is, it is a spin-off series that's going to be premiering on Max later this year. It's focusing on the sisterhood, I believe. So the mystic sisterhood from the Dune movies. I like that the production design looks like the film, so it looks like it's still in that same world. It still looks like we're on Arrakis and we're in that space universe. I'm gonna watch it just because you guys know I love the Dune universe. I love the Dune films. I don't know if it really needed a spin-off series. I hope it doesn't dilute the franchise, but I'm gonna at least give it a shot just because I love this world so much. I do like Mark Strong, so that's cool. I think the cast overall is kind of weak, though. Like, the cast is mostly no names. So, I don't know. I feel like the cast is a little weak, but I'm still excited for it. I'm still interested. I like the production design. I like how it looks like the world of the movies. So, I'm going to give it a shot. Is anyone going to try this show? Are you guys curious about the Dune show at all? Okay, Mythical Phoenix Heart says you love both as well. Okay, so I'm glad you guys, some of you agree with me on my Wonka takes. I appreciate that. Although Danny really likes the Wonka movie. That's fair. Vincent says, we don't need to make a over $1 billion to build a franchise. What do you mean? I agree that I'm a little nervous that they're going to exploit this Dune franchise and milk it past what it can handle. I don't know if Dune is a big enough franchise that it can sustain a spin-off series, but they're definitely going to try, so we'll see. Mythical Phoenix Heart says, please enjoy it, Brittany. I hope we don't receive love threats from the cast. Love threats? What do you mean love threats? I hope they don't send me love threats either. Yeah, you guys haven't watched Dune, Joe Pedro? What? What? Joe Pedro, come on. If you guys have not seen Dune, please see Dune. It's very, very good. Moving on. So we also have another trailer for Transformers 1. It's an animated movie about the Transformers. Yeah, they're doing another Transformers movie, but this time it's animated. Guess that they're trying to aim more towards kids this time. I don't know. I'm not for this. I've never been into the Transformers franchise. This trailer doesn't sell me on it at all. Is anyone curious about this animated Transformers film? Are you guys going to see this? Anyone curious about this? I think this is a very weird move, to be honest. I think this is a very weird move. And this movie has like a weirdly star-studded cast. Like, they have like a very like A-list cast for this movie, and it's going to flop, and I don't know why they signed up for this. Like, none of the recent Transformers movies have been doing well. So why are these like A-list actors still signing up for this stuff? I don't get it. Yeah, Natania's not interested. Yeah, DeBoy, right? Like, how much more bloated can this Transformers franchise get? It's ridiculous. Okay, Rob likes the look of them, so that's nice. Oh wait, Motion 2 said this was, okay, Paramount's highest tested movie of all time? Interesting. So maybe the movie's really good. Maybe it's really good, but I'm burned by this franchise too many times. I can't bring myself to care about this franchise anymore, unfortunately. Moving on. So, speaking of another bloated franchise that maybe should come to an end, Lord of the Rings. So you guys know that Lord of the Rings is coming out with a new movie in 2026, I believe it is. It's called Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum. It's a spin-off movie about Frodo. Yes, this is real. I'm not making this up. This is a real movie that's coming out. Live action, not animated. And Elijah Wood said that he is willing to return as Frodo. Wait, not Frodo as Gollum. Did I say Frodo as Gollum? Oh, that's not what I meant to say. I meant to say, what's his face? The actor who plays Gollum is coming back as Gollum. That's what I meant to say. Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis is coming back as Gollum. And Elijah Wood wants to come back as Frodo. So, I feel like if you have Frodo and Gollum back, this is basically just like a sequel in the trilogy series. This is just another movie in the series. Do you guys think that this is a good idea? I am not a Lord of the Rings fan. I am not into Lord of the Rings, like, at all. So this is, like, so outside of my wheelhouse. But are you guys interested in more Lord of the Rings movies? Do you think that there needs to be a Frodo... Gollum. Yeah. Do you guys think there needs to be a Gollum spin-off series? Do you really want a Gollum spin-off series? Just to be clear, the movie is based on Gollum, not Frodo. I got the two mixed up. That's precious. Motion 2 says, I'm actually so mad this is an actual real movie. I know, right? I can't believe they're really making this. Like, isn't the original trilogy, like, so revered as, like, true cinema? And then they're just gonna come back with some from some Gollum spinoff? Do we really need a Gollum spinoff? I mean, a whole movie on Gollum, really? Ethereal Dragon says, nope. Cheetah Viper says, after hearing about the crap rings of power, you're not interested. What was that? Did you hear that? Was that Siri again? I don't know. CD Wood says, I love the idea of being a fan of Tolkien, but I could never get into the books nor the films. Yeah, same here. Same here. I just don't think this is necessary. I think this is, like, embarrassing, actually. Like Motion said, I'm actually kind of mad that this movie actually is going to exist. And I'm not even a Lord of the Rings fan, and I'm upset about it. Yeah, I don't agree with this movie existing at all. But moving on. So the Duffer brothers are also supposed to be staying at Netflix after Stranger Things is done. And their next series is going to be called Something Very Bad is Going to Happen. And it's supposed to be about a bride and a groom in the week leading up to their ill-fated nuptials. That could be very interesting. Like, I like shows that are done, like, in a time capsule. Like, so the entire season's going to be in the span of a week. I think that's interesting. It sounds like it could be a very tense, interesting story. So I'm definitely going to give it a chance. It's also interesting that they're choosing to stay with Netflix. I mean, after the success of Stranger Things, the Duffer brothers could literally go anywhere. They could go to any streaming service, any movie studio, and they'd be like, yes, how much money do you want? But they're sticking with Netflix, so I guess that's good for Netflix. I bet they're happy about that. I'm really curious to see if they can follow up their success on Stranger Things, if they can replicate it. If they can replicate it, they'll be like the most sought-after writer-producers in Hollywood for sure. Well, Angel Barrera, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. He's just an insane dude in a cave. What can he do? But what? My phone is doing so many weird things. I'm so sorry. Like, my phone is literally trying to listen to me and do weird stuff. Anyway. I don't know why they're making an entire movie off of a cave dweller. I don't think that's going to end up well, but we'll see. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Anyone interested in more stuff from the Duffer brothers, or after Stranger Things, are you taking a break from them? Does this synopsis sound interesting to you at all? Rob says Netflix took care of the Duffers for sure. Oh, I'm sure they gave them a ton of money. I'm sure Netflix was like, let me just give you an empty check to just make all the shows you want to with us. Like, I'm sure they were given a lot of money to stay with them. CD Wood says, once you get more info, you'll check out the show. Okay. Caitlin says, I feel like Netflix is going to pour so much money into this, and there's no way they're going to have the same success as Stranger Things. I know Stranger Things is such a high bar, but what if? What if it's like as big as Squid Game? I mean, it sounds like another mystery kind of show. What if they do have another big hit? That'd be amazing. Oh, Danny wants Stranger Things to die already. Well, they only have one more season left. I honestly think that it's really good that they do have only one more season left. I think past this one season, I think they would have overstayed their welcome, and I don't think that people would have kept watching. So I think it's good that the show is finally ending. But anyway, that's the last thing that I want to talk to you guys about. That's the show. We had a lot of fun things to talk about, and I love the fact that despite I did not give anyone real warning about this show happening, that you guys still showed up anyway. So I appreciate you guys being here and engaging and interacting so I can chat and talk with you guys. Really appreciate it. Love that we had some breaking news in the middle of the live stream. That's also fun. So have fun looking up the news or whatever. We'll talk again this week. We're going to have a whole live stream on Twister, so look out for that. I'll see you then. Thank you everyone for showing up.